Hello, and welcome to The Voice of Business. The Voice of Business is a monthly radio show and the podcast of the Gwinnett Chamber of Commerce. I am Sarah Persing, the Membership Services Manager for the Gwinnett Chamber, and we are broadcasting from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio here in the Sonesta Gwinnett Place Hotel. Each month, we feature and highlight businesses and business leaders that are members of the Gwinnett Chamber, and today we are excited to showcase some of our recent Gwinnett Chamber Small Business Award winners. The Small Business Awards showcase those that dare to start, sustain, and succeed in the community that supports them. They are risk takers, the problem solvers, the dreamers, and the doers. And joining us today in the studio are Pierina Anderson with Twin Kookies and Sweets, Ali Jamal with Stablegold Hospitality, and Chef Rosalind Tucker with Tucker's Catering. Hey, y'all. How's it going?
I'm excited.
I'm so excied. What do you
Thanks
mean
for
y'all are?
us.
Y'all are awesome. I'm in the presence of greatness right now. I'm the one that's excited.
Okay.
Chef Ross said, if you say so. Okay. Well, we are going to start kind of with, I am the resident networker for the Gwinnett Chamber. I coordinate all of our networking events. And a big thing that we produce out of our networking events are strong elevator pitches. We have different formats that talk about how to perfect it. So I want each of you to give me your best elevator pitch. I'm going to start with Ali Jamal. Go for it.
Sure. So once again, my name is Ali Jamal. I'm the CEO of Stablegold Hospitality. Stablegold Hospitality is a real estate investment firm that owns and operates extended stay hotels across Georgia and various parts of the United States. We specialize on helping individuals who need affordable housing by providing them flexible payment terms and basically a clean, affordable place to stay throughout the year.
That's awesome. I loved seeing your video of how you guys run it. It warmed my heart.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a fun business to run, and we've met some great people over the time. So.
I imagine you have. I imagine you've met some people with some good stories too and some good backgrounds.
Absolutely.
So I love that. Chef Roz.
Yes.
Hit me with it, girl.
Okay, girl. I'm Chef Roz, the owner of Tucker's Catering. At an early age, I love to cook. So cooking to me is like family and friends and love. You're cooking with love. So we are located in downtown Norcross. We are at historic Norcross. We cook international foods. We cook great breakfasts, box lunches, you name it. We make it happen.
What's your favorite food?
Citrus salmon.
Oh, I need to try that.
Yes. Yeah, we cook a whole filet. We smoke it and then put a little love on top of that.
Oh, I like that.
Thank you.
Come on now.
Yes.
All right, Pierina, hit me with it.
Well, my name is Pierina, and I'm the owner of Twin Kookies and Sweets, and I make custom cookies for all occasions, from weddings to baby showers. Unlike Chef over here, I hate to cook. I'm a baker, so that's pretty much all I do.
And there is a difference in cooking and baking. There's
Yes,
a big difference.
yes.
Big difference.
And I wish y'all could see these cookies Pierina brought us today. They are amazing. I'm going to have to try one.
Absolutely.
Don't
You
tell
have
anything. You can't look at this cookie and not want to eat it. Like, it just looks...
I get a lot of people saying that they can't eat the cookies. They're too pretty to eat.
But they really are too pretty to eat, but they're really tasty as well. I've had a few of your cookies before. They're really good as well. Okay, so I'm going to stay with you, Pierina.
Okay.
So, Pierina, you won the Launch Award, and the Launch Award recognizes a company that has begun no more than 2 years ago, a company that's got an innovative approach and is well on its way to making it big. So tell me what winning that particular award meant to you.
It meant everything. It meant a lot to me because, so my parents are from Peru. We moved here when we were 12, and it was pretty much opening my own business and getting this award is pretty much the American dream, you know? We came from nothing. We just came with the luggage. We built our lives here. And then to be able to open my own company and get an award meant so much. Every sacrifice, every tear, everything that I've been through, it meant a lot. I can't describe it. Like, it was a feeling like, I literally got in there. I got on stage, and I didn't know what to say. I was like, I'm sorry. Thank you. Just thank you, everybody. Thank you, my husband, my kids, everybody. It was just, I wasn't expecting it. And I looked at my husband, and I, do you know? He was like, no, I didn't. I was like, oh my gosh. It's like, I was about to cry. So it meant everything, every sacrifice, tear, everything.
I love that you refer to it as the American dream, because it is the dream. It's the dream for anybody that puts their heart and their soul into anything, is to, and I know that people don't do it for recognition, but recognition for your hard work just means the world, whether or not that's what you do it for.
And it meant a lot too, because everything that is going on right now with immigration, all these immigrant kids, that if I did it, they can do it as well. And I came from, I came from Peru. I was only 12, but when you move from a country to another, you just come here with a luggage. You don't come with anything else. You don't have a house. You don't have anything. So it meant all of the sacrifices. And it's really hard to explain and to understand unless you come from another country and know what I've been through. It's one of those things that when you're an American, you have the privilege to live here and have everything that we don't, and we have to work so hard for every single one of those things.
And it means a little
it
bit
meant
more.
a lot, yeah,
for sure. Well, I love that. Chef Roz, so you guys won the Pivot Pro Award, and in the climate of 2020, everybody in some way, shape, or form has had to either pivot or adapt or something. So winning a Pivot Award for being able to adapt to this pandemic climate that we're in and stay successful and keep your head above water, which so many companies, were so unable to do. What did being recognized for winning that award of being able to keep your head above water, what did that mean for you guys at Tucker's Catering?
It was very humbling, number one, for sure, because the restaurant business and catering is just dismal. I mean, nobody's going out. Everybody's concerned about getting sick. So to win, it was like humbling, honored. I'm like, thank you, God, because I almost quit. It was so hard because how are we going to get business? What are we going to do? And you had no staff. It was just terrible. But I'm so grateful that you guys picked me and my team. So it was well worth it. Pivot off to what she just said, very well worth it. We were so excited to have won. Actually win. It was beautiful.
Well, and that was a brand new award this year because, in 2019, we weren't having to pivot from a global pandemic. Wow. So that was a new award that we wanted to recognize companies who were doing something to keep their name out there and to keep their business continually growing. So congratulations to you guys.
Thank you. It also helped, too, that we got in contact with local companies. So that helped as well, too, especially like breweries that don't cook. Will allow us to come in and to help them patronize their product the same as ours. So that was great as well.
Well, and that's a good partnership as well because breweries are doing, Gwinnett has a great group of local craft breweries in the county, and they are doing everything they can to keep relevant and to keep attracting people to come. They're the same as restaurants as any other business.
Yeah.
So the fact that you guys are partnering with local breweries, that right there shows perseverance on your part and on theirs. So
exactly.
Good on you.
Exactly.
Good on you.
Thank you.
All right, Ali, you guys over at Stablegold, or you personally, because this is an Entrepreneur Award for you guys, or for you as the owner and the person who was the dreamer of Stablegold. What did winning that award mean for you?
Yeah, it was amazing. Just like these other two individuals explained, going through the struggles that you go through starting a business. There's just so much that goes on behind the scenes that, eventually when you get your business to a certain point where people actually recognize it from a positive standpoint, there's really no better feeling in the world. So it was just fantastic to have that, positive affirmation. But I'd say, over and above that, I really didn't look at it even from a personal perspective because, being entrepreneurs, we all know, at the end of the day, anything we achieve is on the, with the help and the partnership of our people. So that was the biggest, to have my team there and to share the experience with them and to understand the struggles that they go through day to day. When I started our first hotel, I was working at the hotel, cleaning rooms, working the front desk, doing whatever I could to cut the costs. But now I'm not there in the day-to-day operations. Our team members are, and they're the ones that really, make us what we are today. So to me, it was more of a validation for the fact that we've created a culture, an organizational culture that I think is super special. So that's really what it meant to me.
I love that, and I think that resonates with all three of you because of social distancing measures that are in place. At the Small Business Awards, we were all so spread apart with our tables in this oversized room. Matt Hyatt in the last episode, made a point. It was a huge oversized room for not a lot of people. You could have fit us all in a corner of the room, but we had a really good view. Chamber staff, where we had a really good view of every table where all the winners were. And people at your table, whether they were with you or not, celebrated you. And they were so excited, and you could see the excitement that they felt to be a part of the team that was being represented. So I think that was very, very evident when you guys won. So, and sticking with you, what inspired you to begin Stablegold Hospitality?
Yeah, so, I myself kind of was working in the corporate world and was investing in real estate on the side, kind of as a side hobby. Really, I had a passion for it, and I always kind of wanted to do that full time. To make a long story short, I had a few things align in my life where I had the opportunity to come out to the United States. I'm originally from Vancouver, Canada, and I came here during a kind of economic recession in 2011. And was able to find some really good, economic opportunities with some assets that we purchased at a very good price. And that was kind of the business component of it. But when we bought our first hotel, I realized really quickly that there was a huge need for affordable housing in Atlanta. And extended stay hotels offer that kind of opportunity to kind of provide that transition for people. So if you think about someone who's maybe been kicked out of their apartment complex, their credit is ruined. Really, what is their next option? It's not going to be going to another apartment complex because they don't have the means or the credit to do that. And so these type of hotels kind of provide that transitionary accommodation for a few months for people to get back on their feet. And so that really became my inspiration somewhat after the fact. It started off from a business perspective, but then seeing the stories of the people who lived with us and seeing many of them not only live with us, but then end up working with us as employees and then getting some upward mobility in their life, that just kind of created an even more kind of inspired opportunity for the whole company to kind of build around that culture.
I love that. That's awesome. Have you had a lot of the people that have lived in your facilities, have you had a lot of them go on to have employment with you guys?
Yeah, so really interesting setup. 20% of our 150 employees that we have now are one-time residents of the hotel.
Really?
So it's such a cool concept because you have people who are on the brink of obviously homelessness to a certain extent, and now we're kind of getting them to a stage where they're working a front desk, they're building skills that they can take somewhere else or keep working with us. One other thing that we did, which I'll mention really quickly, which is cool, is that we also around this time when I first came here started to buy up a lot of the homes in like downtown Atlanta that were going for basically nothing. So there was homes being sold for like $5,000, $10,000 that were kind of gutted out in rougher areas. Well, we bought quite a few of those and we renovated them and got them up and running into actual residential houses. But what we've done now is when someone is employed with our organization, part of the steps of their upward mobility will be actually ending up living in one of those homes. So not only do you end up getting a job, but if things go in the right direction, you end up getting a home at a very good, rental rate that's going to work with your wages. So it just becomes a whole dynamic where, you're profiting as a company, but you're partnering with individuals who might not be at the stage in their life that they want to be, to really, give them those opportunities. So it's just been an amazing experience.
Well, you guys are changing lives, like legitimately changing lives, and that's awesome.
And I think that's what business is all about. We do have a platform, regardless of how big or small your business is, to change lives. And the thought process with business needs to be that. It can't just be, obviously, a balance sheet because you're dealing with people's lives. In our business, people who are living in our properties, and also people who are putting their bread on their table through our properties. So I think if you realize that, you can just make your decisions so much more impactful as a leader of your company.
That just gives me chills. I love that. That's such an awesome story. Chef Roz,
Yes.
So you love to cook,
Yes.
obviously.
I do.
Hopefully you love to cook.
I love to cook. It's very therapeutic for me, very much so.
So with your love of cooking, what inspired you to begin Tucker's Catering?
My husband, My husband loved my food, so he said, "You should go into business in catering. I love your cooking. You put so much love into it." And also my nonprofit, which is called Just a Touch of Love, where we feed kids. For the last 3-4 years, before over 4,000 kids, and also senior citizens. So once a week, regardless if I'm catering or not, I will make food every Friday. They play basketball. It's called Friday Night Lights. So after they play basketball, they have prayer, and then we feed them. It can be steak, it could be lasagna, top of the line. I just want to make sure no one goes out hungry.
I love that.
So that's inspired me to feed my nonprofit, and also love to cook and bring people back to the table. Fellowship. That's what food is about, fellowship and enjoying each other's time and company.
Well, relationships are built around the table, too.
Absolutely.
So there you go.
Thank you.
Perfect combination.
Thank
I love
you.
that.
Thank you.
And I didn't know that about your nonprofit. That's fascinating.
I mean, we still do it no matter what, even through the pandemic. Like, we fed over 300 kids, 300 people Thanksgiving, and this next week we're feeding over 200 for Christmas dinner.
I love that.
So just come pick up your meal, and we'll take care of you.
Touch of love.
Yeah,
I love
just
it.
a touch of love.
Touch
Gotta
of
have
love.
it. Thank you.
The crowd goes wild.
Yes. Thank you.
And Pierina, what inspired you to begin baking these fantastic, exquisite? I mean, what? I need some more adjectives. Can somebody get me a thesaurus? They're amazing cookies.
Thank you. Mine was pretty much my kids. My husband and I read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and he talks about giving access to your kids. So it was one of the things that I wanted to pass on to my kids, to be able to have something when they get older. And us working in our own business pretty much meant that. So every day, those little ones, and I say two because I have twins. They're 8.
Is that where twin cookies comes from?
Yes, and their name starts with a K, so that's like cookies with double Ks. So they are the reason that I'm here and that I do what I do, that I work so hard, so they are my inspiration.
And they bake with you, I'm assuming.
They are my quality control.
Ah.
They eat them.
They eat them. Hey, that's a very important part of any food industry, so
Quality
they
control.
have the best job. Like,
yeah, they do.
I'm not
It's
even
very
lying.
important.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I have a little one that loves to bake with me. He loves to quality control, more than he loves to bake. But you're building good memories.
They
with
do
him
help me. They help me a lot because they're homeschool. And they don't know that when we bake and do the measurements and everything, I'm teaching them. So we spend a lot of time together. And that's one of the things, like, hey, help me bake. And it's like, okay, well, you got to measure this and that and that. So they're learning.
Good job, Mom. Good job, Mom. All right, Pierina. So the launch award that you won recognizes, like we said, an organization that is 2 years or less old. And you've accomplished a lot in your short time with Twin Cookies. What do you, and I know you touched on this a little bit, but if you haven't mentioned it, what is something that what do you attribute your success to? Is there anything else other than, your kids, your family? Is there anything else that you attribute your success to?
I wouldn't be where I am without my parents, my family, the support that they give me. They literally stay up with me till like 3, 4 in the morning, baking, wrapping, packing stuff. And it's a family business. It's not just mine. My husband picks up after me. There's times that I have to bake all day, so he's the one teaching the boys, taking them to practice. I wrestle like last night, and I was running around the house baking. He was getting the boys ready to go to practice, and where are your shorts? Where's this? So my husband, it's my backbone, and my kids for being so patient, my parents, all the support, even moral support is everything.
And because I have to ask this, just because literally you guys have to see these cookies. Have you taken art classes? Or are you just naturally that talented?
So when I was telling you, I went to school at ABAC, and my major then was art. And I did that for 2 years, and then I quit. And I went and found something else, and then something else, and ended up studying psychology, which I don't do anything with it. So I'm a psychologist that bakes cookies, pretty much.
Oh, well, I love that. You did go taking that art class because it pays off. They're amazing.
Thank you.
They're amazing. And perseverance can be a word used to describe you like to a T. With everything that you've faced in your lifetime. I'm older than you, and I'm only 35, 4, one of those. You're a lot younger than me, and you have faced more in your life, and you have persevered, and you have succeeded. And I think that is a word that you should use as what to attribute your success to is
Thank
your perseverance
you. Thank
and
you.
your ability.
I try to help a lot of my community as well. It was a lot of things as being an immigrant and coming over here, and your parents don't know how the school works, the school system and everything. I didn't have a guidance to go through school. I didn't know what a GPA was. I didn't know what associates, and none of them. Bachelor's, nothing. What if I'm transferring to school? I didn't have a mentor. So I actually coach. I'm a community coach. I'm a soccer coach. And I try to guide all these immigrant kids, helping them out, trying to find them scholarships, trying to find them a way to go to college. I lost a lot of scholarships when I was in high school because I didn't have papers. And I was here with a visa, and I lost tons, like D1 schools were after me, and I lost all of them. And nobody could help me. Nobody knew what you could do. Little did I know that my husband, back then was my boyfriend, went to college, and he was telling me, he was like, it's not fair. I see all these girls, and you're better than them. So he went and talked to the coaches and told them, it's like, hey, I have my girlfriend. You can look her up on YouTube. There's all these videos. And thanks to him, I ended up going to college. And they gave me a ride, full ride to go to school. And it goes back to my family, to my backbone, pretty much. Everything that I've done is thanks to them.
Well, and perseverance. Again, there you go. Keyword. I love it. I love it. Inspirational people. I don't feel like I'm worthy to be in this room with y'all today. Well, Chef Roz, like we talked about with COVID throwing us all for a loop and having to adapt, tell us a little bit about how you transitioned your business model at Tucker's in the middle of a pandemic.
So what I did was I started a pop-up restaurant. I normally don't. We normally are caterers, but nobody's going out. Nobody's eating in the restaurants. I did a pop-up restaurant where you place an order, and give me 24 hours. You place the order, you pick it up, and keep COVID safe. So you just place the order, pay, and pick it up. And like I said, also we did breweries, and we partnered with different companies to create some kind of avenue to make money. So that's what we basically did, and that helped us a great deal. And like we're doing an event this week coming up for 832 people, all individually packaged. So like she said, we're up at 3 in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning.
You need to recruit Pierina.
I understand. I'm telling you. So she understands the game because it's not easy. It's hard. Like he said, you don't know what you see behind the scenes. It's very hard. Sometimes customers might not show up or staff might not show up, but you still got to pursue it, get it done, and get on that phone. I also hired a marketing company to support me. We did videos. Whatever we got to do to win, never give up.
That's right. Now, your pop-up restaurant that you did, what kind of, were those like prepackaged family-style meals?
Family-style, individually packaged. It can go from, right now we're doing a lot of Southern cuisine, so, mac and cheese, fried chicken, there's a need for that. So people want meatloaf, brisket. So that's what we're doing a lot of. And we place the orders. We give them like 5 different options. Yeah, so we try to go after food. We try to do food that somebody else is not doing in the area. So I don't want to compete with Mexican because I want them to still get business. So I try to do something that somebody else is not doing. Yeah, and that helps a great deal.
There's a lot of variety. So
yes,
pick and choose.
Yes. So
I
every
love
week
it.
we do something different, and then we put it out on a Wednesday, and then we get calls. And Thursday and Friday pick up. We're open from like 11:30 to 3:30 in the afternoon, and then we shut it down.
Well, I will say, I don't live in Gwinnett. I live north of Gwinnett. I live in Dawson County. And there were times where I did not want to cook because we were all at home, working from home with our kids, with our spouses. Lord help us.
That's a lot.
There were times I was like, if I have to cook another meal in this house, I'm going to scream. And I freaked. There were companies that were doing the same thing. There were restaurants, but call in your order and we'll do here's a family size to go. It was helpful, and you produced the means to a need for people. So bravo.
Thank you. And usually when our customers come, they order for 3 days. So they get different foods, and like last week was raining. They were so excited. They got their food, and they're like, I can stay home and eat Tucker's for 3 days.
Heck yeah.
Thank you.
Sounds like my kind of 3 days.
Yes. So come on down. Tucker's Catering, 350 West Peachtree.
Little plug. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, Ali, you've accomplished a lot as a young professional. And as far as winning the Emerging Entrepreneur Award, kind of piggybacking off of what we just talked about with Pierina, what do you attribute your success to?
There's so many things. So I think going back to what Pierina was saying in terms of family, I mean that, at the end of the day, I grew up in a single family house, a single parent household. Really quick story on how I started real estate investing is I was about 17 and I had a deal with my mom that if I saved $20,000 over 2 years, when on my 19th birthday, she would take me to the car dealership and co-sign on a loan for like this Honda Civic or like whatever I wanted at that time, something that I thought like I'd be able to pick up girls in. Which and so we made the deal, and 2 years after, saving the money, which I did through working multiple jobs and while I was going to school and all that kind of stuff, I go to my mom on my 19th birthday and I was like, okay, I got the money and we made a deal. Let's go down to the dealership now. And so she looked at me and she's like, son, you got to be one of the dumbest people I've ever met in my life. She's like, there is no way that I'm going to let you put $20,000 of your hard-earned money over the last couple of years in some stupid car that's going to, depreciate in a couple days. You're gonna drive that Dodge Colt that's sitting downstairs, and we're gonna take that $20,000 and put it as a down payment on a condo. So that was the first real estate investment that I made, which I was not happy about at the time, because at 17 I was like, because I was first thinking like, oh, so I get to live in the condo, and she's like, no, you're still living in that bedroom down the hall. You're just gonna be putting a renter in there, and they're gonna pay your mortgage. So she kind of forced me into that. But fast forward 7 years later, that condo that I bought for, I think at that time it was like $170,000, had basically grown in value like almost 10 times for various reasons. Like Vancouver's real estate market just exploded. But, the overall story there is, if it wasn't for her and her initial guidance, I'd probably be, a 38-year-old driving a rusted out Honda Civic right now. So, I think family is super important from an anchor perspective, to get you on the right track. At least it was in my life. And then so many other multiple things. But I think family, to give you a somewhat short answer, would be kind of the main backbone for me to kind of, attribute a lot of my success to.
That Dodge Colt, did it pick up the ladies for you?
You know what? I had to get really creative. So the Dodge Colt did not do me many favors, but that probably helped me out so I could focus on the more important things at that time in my life. But yeah, it was a rough couple of years from a driving perspective.
Mama's a smart lady.
She is.
I like Mama already.
Yeah.
Last question for you guys. Since hindsight is 20/20. See what I did there? Mm-hmm. If you could go back in time, what piece of advice would you tell yourself, knowing everything that you know now? What piece of advice would you tell yourself?
Patience. I'd say that my biggest, if I look back when in my 20s and even early 30s, I wanted to accomplish so much so quickly, and I probably made some poor decisions professionally and personally because I was in such a rush. But I think as we get older and we mature, we start to realize, or maybe I was just a late bloomer, but we start to realize that if you put in the work and you plant the seeds, you will reap what you sow, if not on your time, on God's time, but you will reap what you sow. So I think I've learned that over time, and it's put me in a much better state to be able to tackle things without attaching emotion to it, because I don't feel like I'm rushed to do it. So yeah, I'd say the main word for me would be patience.
Something I have very little of, so that's
Right.
advice I can take to the bank.
Right.
And always listen to your mama.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Somebody tell my 8-year-old that.
Yeah.
All right, same question to you.
Patience and enjoy the ride. I wouldn't change my journey as much because I learned a lot, and the blessing is knowing. But overall, to have patience and enjoy the ride, because you're not going to get rich and quick overnight. So it's a time. It's a journey. So yeah, patience.
That's right. That's right. And any get rich quick scheme is just that. It's a scheme.
It's a scheme.
That's right.
Yeah.
Patience.
Patience.
And you, Pierina?
Mine is be patient, trust the process, believe in yourself, and that everything will be okay.
Well, you guys have definitely inspired me. I just have loved being surrounded by you guys today. You all have fantastic stories, fantastic journeys, and you all collectively are doing big things. And I know we have not heard the last from you guys.
That's right.
Up and onward.
Thank
right?
you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Again, thank you to our guests for joining us today, Pierina Anderson with Twin Cookies and Sweets, Ali Jamal with Stablegold Hospitality, and Chef Roz with Tucker's Catering. This has been the Gwinnett Chambers radio show and podcast, The Voice of Business on Business Radio X. You can enjoy any of our episodes anytime by visiting businessradiox.com, selecting the Gwinnett studio, and then clicking on The Voice of Business. Until next time, I'm Sarah Persing, and you've been listening to The Voice of Business on Business Radio X.